Welcome to Sad Boyz, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
Jordan.
Hey.
What the hell is going on?
What the hell, dude?
Boys only.
It's a boys only episode.
Woo.
There's no peeps.
Just three straight cis white men.
No, huh?
Big chillin'.
Yeah. Huh? Okay. Mario's here. No Anastasia.
No Anastasia. We needed a day off.
Anastasia said, I'm tired of your boys' shit.
We could say that they're okay saying this. It is wild that both of them are out recovering from surgery.
Yes, and it's all elective, and it's all
we
all very planned, and everyone's doing okay.
And I think I did pretty good at it. I was a little low blood sugar.
You said I kind of want to try my left hand.
Give me a swing at this one. I was using a switchblade.
Okay.
I butterfly knifed in.
A Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I got distracted.
Blade.
I actually have ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus on the surgery.
You did the surgery with a straight to Nintendo Switch game about the Marvel superhero Blade.
Well, I was just popping off with I'm obsessed
Blade's
with
Marvel, right?
Or
is he? Yeah.
He's the daywalker. It's kind of the you and me of
wow.
If podcasting is a predominantly white sport, a la vampires, then important question: is a black vampire paler?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's ashy.
Yeah, he turns to ash, I guess. Oh no, that's way more tragic than being a vampire. What the hell is up? What's up? Explain yourself.
Nothing much. Gang, fam.
We were just talking about aging and how coffee is. Maybe we're coming to the end of our career.
I just don't like. I'm very temperamental these days with liquid. I'm drinking a lot of it.
That is the most based thing I've ever heard, and I cannot explain why. You're so right.
Yeah. Well,
input is getting frustrating. I just want to feel good all the time.
I just want to feel good all the time, and I'll do anything to make it work.
Is that bad?
Am I wrong?
Anyone.
I will kill coffee if I have to. I will fuck Mary and kill coffee.
I will demand that members of our team get surgery.
Right, and you did.
Yeah, it didn't help. It
didn't
nothing
help.
to do with it, I guess.
You asked for them to get the your lame surgery. You need to get your freaking unbasedness removed.
And I realized I actually have to get the surgery. I suppose. I didn't get my vaccine.
Dude, I'd get a brain surgery.
Yeah,
just elective.
Would you get elective cybernetic implant surgery for like say an eye that can zoom in 3.5 distance?
I wouldn't be the first one. Like I wouldn't be the first guy on Mars or whatever. But if it's like a thing that has been well tested, kid tested, mother approved, then maybe I'm in there.
Surgery.
Yeah, it's kicks.
I think. Okay, well, here's the question, right? Because it's pretty easy. We already have the technology to make like a synthetic eye that looks like an eye. In the case of would you electively surgically replace wrist and hand for hacking power or something?
Not yet, but it's
not even for hacking power.
Well, so here's the thing, like I like my appendages. I'm into them as I've become accustomed to them over the years. They don't always behave the way I want, but I do enjoy them. However,
they're steel free.
If something ever were to happen to them, technology is getting to a point. There's these like prosthetic companies that can like have the dexterity to like play piano. You can get like a prosthetic arm that can like help, like you can play piano if you knew how to play piano before, and you can have enough dexterity to like control. And that's going to be that's like super awesome for the future. Is like, it's like, I want that to be perfect and I want it to be available to everyone who needs it.
Yes.
You know, it's like, we're not there yet, but
I am betting on cybernetic knee. That is currently the investment.
Well, because you're so excited to bend the cybernetic knee.
Dude, I can't wait.
Yeah.
The jumping really high, but I don't have anything that helps me when I fall. So I can do a 20-foot jump, but I die as soon as I land.
What if you get like airbags in your shoes and you like deploy
like
airbags?
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Oh,
go gadget airbag.
Wait, that's way better. If I could be equipped with all the accoutrement of a RoboCop, except that it is like whoopee cushions, a big boxing glove that comes out of my forehead. None of it is elegant or cool cyber.
I trip and fall off of a balcony and I hit basketball mode, and then I just am enclosed within a giant basketball, and then I bounce and roll to safety.
Into like a mall and then you bump through all the
Oh,
shops.
right, yeah, it's like bull in a china shop. Everyone's like, no, it's the big basketball.
You come out the other side and your basketball's wearing a new outfit.
Oh,
like, oh, brother.
Dude, Kawhi Leonard sees me, he starts dribbling me.
Oh, you're tiny. It's compressed your
His
whole
hands
body.
are very big.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's more of a forced perspective situation.
Man, that would actually be so... Now I'm thinking about it, I was obsessed with the Inspector Gadget movie, and it was very bad. Do you have
the movie? I watched the cartoon.
Cartoon's sick. But Matthew Broderick with his hat turning into a boxing glove or whatever?
Right. No, I remember seeing the commercials for it, but I didn't make it to the theater. I don't think. It's possible that I saw it, and my memory is so poor that it's just completely out of there.
I will say, I mean, for our cobweb-ridden brains, I'd say that's one worth kind of just discarding and instead memorizing.
Does
like a
that
song.
make you mad? Because forgetting things like movies I've seen kind of pisses me off, low key.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, can't remember it. Or
who?
What?
Sorry,
I'm
bad with names.
He fails, huh? In that movie, he does a really bad
was that
job.
the precursor to Get Him to the Greek?
Oh yeah. Oh, the double Russell.
The double Russell.
Because
doesn't he reprise his role as like Russell Brand, basically?
Strange pervert.
Yeah.
He's such a talent. How is he able? He's been method acting as strange pervert
for a while. He does so when he advertises like a bone necklace that protects you from magnetic waves or whatever.
Becoming a basketball.
It tracks. It's like all in character.
Yeah. Oh, I see. It's like because his characters are annoying perverts. I see. I mean, forgetting stuff. It does get frustrating, but I think our lifestyles right now, it's not too prohibitive.
Not prohibitive, but there was like the Will Smith movie Hitch, and I saw it in the theater,
James.
and I don't have a single memory about it. I think I fell asleep. It wasn't I didn't mean to. It wasn't the movie's fault. Sometimes I just get tired.
I mean, that movie didn't help. What about the bit where he has a big allergic reaction? The only part I remember.
I probably was like, oh, that reminds me too much of my regular life.
I too am a pimp and a cool, and I get laid too much, and I am allergic.
Yeah, I think that's why I wanted to watch it, because I wanted to learn how to like have better game.
That's why I watched Hancock.
Right. I also saw that movie. Another movie that like I am insecure about movies that I haven't seen.
About like Hancock?
I'm so insecure that I haven't seen Hancock. No, I saw Hancock in the theater, actually.
That's like the definition of a movie.
It was a movie that like really had me in the first half, I think. And then like again, memory is hazy, and I do believe it like fell off at a certain point.
Hancock,
I feel like it had some stuff, but it like didn't quite land.
Hancock's in the subgenre of movie that would play on the 19th most popular movie channel after 1 a.m. in England, and I've seen it like a dozen times. I barely remember anything, but it does go sick. It loses its fucking mind. It does. Yeah. One half of the movie is just, what if a like kind of normally like a weirdo, like a lazy bum he had powers and he didn't know who he was. Yeah. And then the second half is Charlize Theron turned out to also have the powers, and it's like, we are in Greece. We were known as Theodora and Mayalzadon.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, what?
We will always regroup together.
Does he like destroy his own family's house or something, or is there something that happens?
Blows up Jason Bateman's house from farting really loud or something. You know, something funny.
Yeah, okay. Here's another thing. I really enjoyed the movie Boyhood.
Yeah.
And I saw it twice, and I can't remember a single thing about it.
I mean, it's a hangout movie.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. There's the aging. That's kind of all that happens. I feel that way about my own Boyhood.
Right.
I don't remember.
No, that's what that's kind of what I'm reckoning with, is that just like my memory is so bad.
I kind of want to sometimes when like somebody in like the like early 20s is really like opining over something that happened in their teens, or is like something that's happening right now. They're like 20 years old. I don't want to, it feels like advice, but a part of me is like, that will decay. That your access to that embarrassing memory, that shower memory, almost like a blessing, that's not going to stick around.
I mean, unless it does.
It'll be replaced by something more recent.
I was going to say, but the thing is, I still remember calling that poor girl a B word when I was a freshman in college, 18 years old. It was actually their birthday this week, and I wished them a happy birthday, and they said thank you with a smiley face, and I don't think they remember the way I did.
No problem. I mean, I think to be fair, I feel like there is that little window where things are more memorable because you know that you're becoming an adult and you're supposed to be a finished product and functional.
Right.
And so the mistakes you make seem to mean a lot more. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, I'm failing at being an adult.
Also the mistake, depending on how you internalize mistakes, which I'm very hard on myself. And so I internalize mistakes extra, super mode. And then those are easy to remember. But I'll like listen to sports podcasts and they'll be like, I remember when I was in 5th grade and I watched this specific basketball game where this specific thing happened. And I'm like, I have like shapes and sounds a little bit from like the past, but I don't have like specific memories. Like remembering where I was for like, I have been doing a little bit of like mining of my nostalgic brain because I'll sometimes go to bed watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels and I'll go, I think I remember this.
That's past life regression. Do I
remember like what happened? It's like, it's almost like having a dream, the degree to which I remember it. Like you have a certain like deja vu, but like can't remember the specifics of what's going on. Like I recently have been, I found this channel that does these really like big deep dive videos into Harry Potter universe. And that was such a big part of my childhood. Obviously J.K. Rowling sucks now as we've learned in adulthood, but you know, the books or whatever were meaningful to me and I did read them. And so I was interested in, differences between the movies and the books and seeing like that like laid out. Or even I remember there was like some specific details like the animals that are on the crests of like Gryffindor and Ravenclaw. Like Ravenclaw, the animal that's on the crest. Well, it's different in the books and the movies. In the movies, it's a raven. And in the books, it's an eagle.
Oh. That's a cock up.
And but it's because it's more on the nose. Like Gryffindor, it's not a griffin, it's a fucking lion. You know, it's like
another huge slip up.
Yeah. Slytherin, it is on the nose. It is a snake. Come on,
guys. Well, that could be anything. That could be a lion slithering around.
Yeah, but I'm like, what? Like, I remember I was listening to this, and it was talking about like inconsistencies between the books and the movies, and I'm like, in my head, I always play little trivia games with myself. I go, eagle's coming to mind, but also raven, and then they're like, well, it's an eagle and a raven. And I was like, maybe I am a genius.
That's the stage where most people say Mandela effect. They just go like, it cannot be something else. The first thing I said was right.
Yeah, and it's just...
What's a huffle?
Badger.
It just is called a huffle?
Well, no.
What's the huffle?
No, I don't know why it's named that, but...
Making a huff.
Ravenclaw, I think they're all like Gryffindor. Like, it's all supposed to just be fake-ass words.
But it's like, I guess it does it feels right. A huffle does feel like a thing a badger would do.
Well, that's the thing. I couldn't remember what Hufflepuff was, and then I go to myself, all I remember is this lame as fuck.
Hufflepuff is called Hufflepuff because the house was founded by and named after Helga Hufflepuff.
Well, that doesn't fucking count.
Well, so yeah, that's what I mean. That's in Godric Gryffindor, you know?
Oh, you can call it anything. Call it Smith-Door.
Rowena Ravenclaw. Well, see, these are, I have it, like, why is this in my head? But I can't fucking remember
Harry Potter
Hancock.
lore. I think that's probably like... That's so ever present at that period of time.
Yeah, but
Hancock isn't at like high school.
Some of the like I get, you know what it is? It's that I think it's that this is going to be very non-scientific. This is going to be an artsy fartsy description of something that can be described by like neural pathways and things. But to me, it's like there are all of these like locations in the map of your mind, and like I'm driving on the road of my mind. And if I go to Harry Potter Town, it's connected to all of these like things. Mm-hmm. The problem is Hancock Town, not very visited. Population 0 in my mind.
No memories. I've driven through it.
If I've driven through it, I can't remember how to get there. And once I'm there, I might have connected memories to experiences I had maybe watching the movie. Like I remember vaguely where I was sitting in the theater when I saw Hancock.
Yeah, and if you get stimulated by something, like if I drive past the Hancock popcorn smell store, I go like, I'm reaching back. Charlize Theron, they're flying in a storm.
Have I told my Burger King story?
When you met the Burger King?
Well, yeah, I met the king. I woke up with the king.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, horrifying mask. So growing up, my mom like had cerebral palsy, and we would often have to kind of call like services that will pick you up and take you places. This is like a pre-Uber thing for people with like disabilities primarily, or older people who have trouble getting around.
Like not a taxi, an actual dedicated
like a little like
service
van type situation could come and pick you up at your house and to go places. And if you're out and about, then maybe you're using a bus, but sometimes like it's just like she couldn't walk for very long distances and she didn't use a wheelchair. When we would go visit her sister, my aunt, we would take the Greyhound bus, and the Greyhound bus, we would just take it. We were taking it from Gainesville to Clearwater. There was like maybe one stop on the way. I don't actually know how long that bus ride is. And allegedly we took a Greyhound bus from Gainesville to Los Angeles once when I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. And
it's a lengthy.
It's like 3 days. I think in terms of like how many stops and stuff you had. Like that's what I recall.
The Greyhound bus have like, you sleep in it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, but you have rest stops.
Oh, okay.
And so one of the rest stops for this Florida one, because I think it was only one that I recall, they would always stop at Burger King. And the smell of Burger King is so recognizable to me that we were walking in Old City in Barcelona, and I smelled Burger King, and I said out loud, I smell Burger King. And then people are like, huh? And then lo and behold, a few blocks later, there's a Burger King. That's that's maybe one olfactory memory I've got, but otherwise. Oh, sorry. What's that, Jacob? It's time for our sponsor segment. Pew, 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 pew.
Whoa, whoa, look out.
What you been doing lately, Jordan?
I've been enhancing my nutrition, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
I've been filling my little belly with AG1.
You got a daily routine with the help of AG1's vitamins, probiotics, and antioxidants. And now you can support your health around the clock with AGZ. AGZ is a new nightly drink that helps you wind down and rest up. It's got a melatonin-free formula that includes 250 milligrams of magnesium L-threonate. You know, magnesium L-threonate has been shown to improve cognitive function and sleep quality. 2 things I need.
And it does not have melatonin, something I super don't need, because it makes me have those dreams.
I know the ones.
You know the ones.
Well then, AGZ is going to fit right into your nighttime routine. You can take it with water. You can take it with milk. You can prepare it however you like, and it's going to help you not feel groggy. It's going to help you get a little restful night of sleep, which we all love that. And it's free of gluten, dairy, egg, and peanut allergens.
It comes in 3 flavors. You got mixed berry, you got chocolate, you got mint chocolate, which are all plant-derived and therefore free of artificial sweeteners, any added sugar, and erythritol.
None of that.
And MSG.
No MSG. All right, well, let's give it a try. I'm going to try the chocolate flavor.
I'm going to crush the berry because I'm a sweetie.
And I'm a chocolate. Oh yeah, I'm ready for a nice evening. I'm ready for a nice, relaxing evening.
Let's hear from Belly.
Yeah. Oh, I heard that. Wait, no, wait. Put it again. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. If you're ready to turn down the stress and focus on the rest, head on over to drinkag1.com/sadboyz and get a free frother with your first purchase of AGZ.
That's drinkag1.com/sadboyz with that, that classic Z.
Go back to the show.
The utility of a regret or a mistake or a memory is to adjust, right? Like that is what it's for. And then it's a flaw of the human brain that unfortunately we also hold on to the thing that generated it. Like we cook the meal and we keep all the scraps. Like you don't need these anymore. They're going bad. Just keep the calories. That was the good part.
Yeah.
But the nice trade-off of that is you do also get what are non-practical but warm nostalgic memories. Not ones that are for anything. But like a lot of the time, the one thing I don't like about the like current structure of my life, or like the one thing that I miss, I guess, from a previous era is the quantity of memories generated by having a 9-to-5. By going in, I remember more from my 3 years at Patreon than I do from my week-to-week years of doing this.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I remember this room.
Yeah.
But the amount of time in between, including like shitty day, like really like shitty, oh my God, people are being like, we've hired this new person I'm really struggling with or something. It's just clear and distinct. And that honestly is like all of college for me. I know it's partially mental health oriented and like the way that we're pre-engineered.
Right.
But I do not have access to more than like 2 hours of memories from age 1 to 20. Like I just
no, that I know.
When people talk about high school, that shit boggles my. I could not name more than 2 teachers from birth to end of college. Funny. But I'm also like genuinely quite stupid in some ways. My brain really doesn't work in some ways. I know that's abnormal, but when, dude, I don't know. There's something sour to me about when people are complaining about teachers they had at like middle school. And they're like, yeah, they didn't like me. They gave me bad grades. I'm like, bro, okay. This needs to be excised. This needs to be manually recycled.
I get it though, because it's like at that point in time, it has a disproportionate impact on your life. And so the mind share that some of those experiences have carry more weight because it's like the relative impact on you goes down over time.
But that's why you got to re-review. It's like,
it's
like the one that got away was when I was 6 years old, the girl I was in love with, she's the one that got away.
I remember.
It's like you never spoke to each other.
I remember those.
Oh no, that's totally good. I don't even remember where my school was.
Well, that was easy for me because it was like walking distance from my house, quite literally just down the sidewalk. My home that I grew up in, there's like a big thoroughfare right at the end of the like residential road. Across the street, there's a like a gas station, and then straight down the sidewalk, first stop about half mile down maybe is my elementary school, and then another half mile down is my high school.
Jarvis Academy, right?
Yeah, Jarvis Academy. But then my middle school, I can only vaguely tell you where it's located in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, that seems
because I had to take a bus, and I didn't drive until I got to LA. So I'm like just bad at geography in that regard.
That's another like, I have come to peace with it more or less now, but I am dumber than I was like a couple of years ago, even in a like in like an irreparable way. Like I can't access like I was never a grit and grind kind of guy, but I was if this thing needs to get done, I'll lock in and I'll get it done. And now, no, I'll just die. Like if it's like a little too much, I'll just be like, yeah, whatever. I'll go moldy. But that is, and until that is a problem, live and let live. I haven't found the solution yet. If there's one thing I do dwell on that I really need to like stop dwelling on, it is resenting smug people. Because ultimately it doesn't, and like hypocrite. So like these things that don't actually matter.
Oh, right.
They can be however they want. I do not remember what this like person was smug about, but I remember the sense, and I don't remember their name. I just remember the like, oh, you think you're so much.
Oh,
and they might have been.
I'm with you. No, I really hate how much I dislike hypocrites and or hypocrisy in general, but it like doesn't mean anything as a society. Like no one actually gives a shit if you're a hypocrite. But for me, for my own intellectual, like, or my own moral purity of the mind and how I like want to be with myself, I think that like it's like I project my own moral code onto societal interactions.
Yeah, I feel like we are not comfortable, selfishly, just not comfortable knowing who we are. It's like if I'm not doing the thing, I don't know. It's like the thing that I'm putting out is the thing that I am. I can't like pretend that I have a strong moral compass if I'm just not doing the thing.
Right. I will act in accordance with my morals, which is shifting, or my understanding of that. It's like changes over time, but like,
where's the danger of anti-flip-flop mindset?
To my own detriment, though. It's like there are certainly things that would have like gotten me ahead in life if I were willing to compromise on some of those things.
Well, morals are always to detriment.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's only a principle when it gets tested.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I have a principle of like, yep, if I was being tortured and I had to give up information about somebody, I wouldn't do it. Like that means nothing till I get tortured.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it.
Oh yeah, it's a thing where like if someone was instigating a fight with me, I know that it's not a good idea to fight. Like I know what I'm supposed to do and I'll do the right thing, but I am it's like frustrating inside to like let it go. Kind of like we talked about this on Sad Boyz Nightz when the guy
the dishonorable Ronin
came and
you the honorable samurai
accosted us, and then we had a verbal altercation, let's say.
But he was like a dishonorable Ronin if a Ronin didn't know how to use a sword. Just a guy that
but no spoilies. That exists on Sad Boyz Nightz maybe 2 weeks ago.
Something.
But
if you fancy, no pressure.
If you fancy, no pressure. But anyway, how are you?
I'm good. I've got that frustrating loop right now where I'm trying very hard to sleep better.
I like that.
And it is working in direct opposition. I am sleeping worse than ever, and I'm trying.
Is it you got to take a few steps back to take a step forward?
Yes, yeah. I think I've weirdly acclimatized to a lifetime of bad sleep. I guess was its own rhythm, and it's not the staying up late. That can happen from time to time. It's literally the feverish quality of it whenever I sleep. And I think going to bed at a reasonable time, even just like midnight, 1 a.m., whatever, my body is not tired enough, or like my brain, something's off. And so, unfortunately, I'm brute forcing early mornings right now.
Right.
And
I get that.
I gotta say, dude, it feels a little bit, it's like, feels like I've escaped the cycle of samsara. I'm like, I'm out of reality.
Breaking containment.
When it's really early in the morning, you aren't smarter for it because you barely slept, but everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm in like a skin suit. I'm an alien man.
I used to love that so much when I was awake and no one else was.
Feels cool.
Because I was like, I'm cheating.
Dude, it's like being on the East Coast.
But I would like to get there one day. I am also on the journey for better sleep. This sounds like a lead into a brand deal. But I did just try for the first time, and I'm not going to name any product names, but I did try an adhesive nose strip recently.
Oh, cool.
So like the ones you put over the bridge of your nose. And the adhesive is supposed to like widen your nasal pathway. And I do notice it widening my nasal pathway and making it easier to breathe. The next step would be to try the mouth tape.
And then pink puppy handcuffs to the corner of the bed.
Hello.
So yeah, I can't take it off in the middle of the night by accident.
Right, of course.
Full body binding. Gives it.
I have to like do research to make sure that I don't just die.
Like being a Rising Grind influencer who gets killed by that, like.
Well, just imagine like BB discovers my body. Poor thing. All right, she's traumatized.
One final snore.
The cops come in and they go, of course, he couldn't breathe. His mouth was fucking taped shut.
2 cops die from laughing at you too hard.
Yeah.
They try
because on the tape it says "man tape for men." Yeah, he died as he lived.
Peeing his pants and dying.
Yeah, peeing his pants and shitting his pants.
Local influencer, thankfully killed by products.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't think I hopefully get a respectful obit. Like they don't like say how it happened, how it went down.
I think I'm gonna crush the eulogy, and I have written it.
Okay.
I got it. It's like kind of like a Mad Libs type thing. I can move some of the keywords around.
Right, like cause of death.
Yeah, like my friend Jarvis was crushed by Pepsi sign.
True, yeah. I did. Yeah, that did happen. Electrocuted by Pepsi sign that fell into his bathtub.
Dude, you gotta get away from these signs.
You gotta get away from these signs.
Look out.
Because I also have a CPAP machine that I got when I did my sleep study.
And that's the old.
And that's the tradish.
So the Bane mask, right?
Blasts the air into you. But I can't.
Is that? It's like a little nostril. It's a whole.
It depends on the type of mask, but yeah, like usually it's like covers both.
I was raised in the darkness type shit.
Yeah, you're Bane.
Yeah.
So I just could not get used to it. I'm tossing and turning, and I'm like, I can't have Darth Vader talking to me at the same time.
I know,
like,
you can't like sleep on like your side, right?
You have to like have it really tight in order for that to work. And I only had like positional sleep apnea where like if I'm sleeping on my back is like when I have it. And part of the reason is because when you sleep on your back, like your jaw kind of like can go backward into, and I remember there being some concerns about that when I got braces, because they were like, oh, we might have to do jaw surgery, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Do teeth surgery is what I asked for.
Yeah, I was like, no, thank you, I think. And then they were like, actually, I have another idea, and it doesn't involve that. And I was like, thank you.
Let's start with those ones.
Yeah, let's start with that, actually.
Let's not process of elimination down from turning my head 180 degrees around and then doing
what do you
backwards.
mean, bro?
This episode of Sad Boyz is sponsored by Zocdoc.
Guys, it's 2025. The days of going to the doctor only for emergencies, those are behind us.
So like if I'm in pain like for 6 months, I'm just trying to kind of walk it off. No need
go to the doctor. Yeah, go to the doctor.
I feel very bad, but it's like I should probably just like figure it out myself. You know?
No, you should go to the doctor.
Drink more water or something, you know.
Yeah, that's good, but also, yeah, go to the doc. Dude, what is wrong with you? Go to the doctor.
Well, I can't get an appointment within network with approved doctors. What am I supposed to do?
It's time to take our health seriously and get things checked out when we need to. Zocdoc makes it quick and easy to find the right doctor for your needs.
Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment.
With Zocdoc, you can book in-network appointments with over 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients.
You can also filter based on specific preferences, whether that's looking for a male doctor, a doctor that speaks a specific language, has availability that fits with your work schedule, or has an opening the next day or so. Once you find the right doctor for you, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit.
Appointments made through Zocdoc happen fast, typically between 24 to 72 hours, and more often than not, you can even book same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and head on over to Zocdoc.com/sadboyz to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
ZocDoc.com/sadboyz with a Z. You're watching the show. That's the name of it. Zocdoc.com/sadboyz.
Wow. Thanks to Zocdoc for sponsoring this episode.
I have a question.
Please.
That I'm also curious, Jacob. I don't know if you're the kind of person that this happens to or not. Yesterday, I had for the first time, as long as I can remember, a little public cry.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like heavily weeping. It was like a watching a home video of me, like my now dead wife is like doing dishes and she's going, "Oh, stop filming me," you know, like one of those. Memories of me and my dead wife with like a flowing
Severance
laundry and
flashback
stuff.
Episode.
But except it was I never had a wife and she wouldn't be dead. I would have defended her with karate. I had a little public cry, single tear or two. I'm in a cafe.
Okay.
Semi-busy, but it's very small. About the whole thing's about the size of this room, and then a third of that is the kitchen. So it's maybe 20 people in there. It's a little dense. Everyone's on their phones these days. You know what I mean? I was on my laptop.
Tell me about it.
But I had maybe let's call it half a shot glass, you know, of some little tears.
Okay, that is an amount of tearing.
You know, but with gradual 5-minute leakage. No projectile cartoon ones.
Right.
And no like, it was just a like stoic moment. You know, I can't be myself. I'm a man. I can't feel things. How are you guys? A, does this happen or has happened at any point that you can remember? In B, do you go for the wipe?
Yeah.
Do you try and hide the wipe? Shirt on the face? Had no napkins to hand.
I do the hand wipe. Kind of one of these, or even like this. And yes, I mean, when we went to see Hamilton, I cried. And if for anybody who's like, you cried at Hamilton, get some fucking whimsy in your life, you hardened person.
You Aaron Burr style guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was moved by the performances, okay?
Wait, we stand for stuff and we're not going to fall for stuff. Is that so bad?
Yeah.
If you don't stand for anything,
what do you fall for?
What's the deal?
What do you fall for?
1700 Seinfeld.
If
What's
you
the deal with the king?
What do you fall for?
You ever just shoot your gun in the air and your son's killed?
The KKK is the same as the Free Palestine movement.
Got his mic.
Don't ask me to explain, because I can't.
Jerry, no.
Don't look into how problematic some of my episodes of my show are.
Where's my 17-year-old
Remember the one about the
girlfriend?
Chinese lady that wasn't Chinese?
Okay, let's pull back a little bit. Go back to the gig again.
Well, I used to be able to joke about anything.
Yeah, that's true. Like, seat belts and other incredible incisive thoughts from Jerry Seinfeld.
Don't ask about my prom date.
Please, too late.
I'm 35. Actual things that he did, by the way, and said. And then
you had a
and I was like, fuck it, I'll own it, dude. I love having emotions. It's good to feel.
You're in the
It's good to feel. It's good to cry. Let it happen.
I think especially a live performance, because it's like so vivid.
Yeah.
And there's also, I know this is obviously the case in recorded media as well, but like literally you're seeing, like, I don't know why I got into my head at one point. I like, while at the show, because I was like blown away by how much fun I was having, because I was previously a contrarian.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, open your heart.
Open
your heart and you'll be free.
At the time, I would have fell for anything because I didn't stand for anything.
Yeah, right.
I punched the bursar. I was watching the show, and at one point it just struck me like, oh, these are all, everyone on this stage right now is decades of experiences coming together.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of thousands of collective trips to the bathroom, of brushing teeth, of meals had, of jogs run, like standing on a stage right now and like creating a thing that can only exist because of all those people. And that caught me. And then I shed I'm not a fucking baby. I'm not gonna cry like you. I was like shedding a single tear. And I was looking out. I was pumping iron.
Right, of course.
Everyone was like, Jordan,
Everyone
yes.
was clapping at your incredible show of emotion, but also restraint.
They were like, he's so good at lifting, he's crying. But I think being cynical about it is a little bit of a bummer.
Well, also it's like, you can criticize Hamilton on its like political merits, but when I'm experiencing the suspension of disbelief of a performance of a show, when you're sharing, you're in it. It's almost like it's like when you get hit by a blue shell in Mario Kart and you're like, fuck. Yeah. The reason you feel something is because you're zoomed in, right? And like being able to be zoomed in and like present, I think is like a beautiful thing. And it's also something that I struggle with as an ADHD haver, is like being present with something. And music is something that like allows me to be like present and in the moment. And also like, I'm not just thinking about that performance. I am doing a little bit of thinking about the themes and the things I think about in my own life when I think about, who lives, who dies, who tells your story, that type of thing.
Having seen it now, I gotta be honest with you. I feel like a lot of the cynicism about the text of Hamilton is a little disingenuous, because like it's propaganda for political history of America.
Yeah.
It's like, slow down. It's way more like mythology than that. It's like, this story does not have to be about that period of time.
It may as well be Orpheus. It may as well be Hadestown.
Yeah, we saw Hadestown the same week. I'm like, tonally, like sensationally, they kind of feel the same to me, because I also, by the way, I didn't know, none of this stuff was reinforcing any kind of historical propaganda. I'd take it in because I never learned it in the first place. But like, none of the things I think it is a little silly to project like just text, just the top line of a story to be its only purpose and its only framing. It smacks a little bit of, I can't watch movies where someone does something bad. Yeah. Because it's promoting Darth Vader blew up Alderaan. Well, I'm not going to watch this movie and support him.
Or it's like, what, you like this thing that's a historical fiction? And it's like, well, didn't you know that history is bad, actually? And I was like, yeah, no, for sure.
What, are you kidding me?
But there's also human stories inside of every little, every little chunk of history.
It's also not Hamilton. That's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
He's not here.
Well, that's the thing.
He's not involved in the production at all, actually. He's busy
I
being
do
bones.
think it's kind of like one of those, it's like Allow Me to Live Out for a Sec, but that's like level 1 is like Hamilton is an incredible musical. Like level 50 is like, I mean, there's so many other musicals out there. Have you seen this, that, the other thing? Really Hamilton's baby stuff. And then like level 100 is, okay, Hamilton's a really good musical.
Like pretty good time.
Yeah. But
Vigo, are you a public weeper?
I'll like get a little choked up at movies, but I'm not like often like really crying at movies. Like unless it's like very specific circumstances.
Yeah, in like a moment of, because I get choked up movie just at moments of like high anything, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sad.
Anything where like there's a big group of people coming together to save the rec center. Yeah.
I think it's worth noting that the ability of art to connect to life is an important aspect of it. And when I'm crying at the end of Hamilton, I'm crying about my dead mom, and I'm not simply crying about the fucking musical. And I think if people like can't like and so there's nuance to it. And I'm not just saying, oh my God, Eliza, I can't believe she has to go on without. Thank God she started the first private orphanage.
I know. It's not like, it's the magic trick of fiction is to resonate with something real. The thing that's impressive about Jaws is it made people scared of a shark that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's like when I hear, and it's like I could start crying now and I won't. But it's like when my time is up, have I done enough? Will they tell my story? I just hope that I see you again. It's only a matter of time. I think about my mother who passed away when I was very young, and I think about what I have done in my life, and I think about whether or not, like, will she be proud of me and stuff like that, and I will cry if I continue talking about it. But it's like that's what it connects to me. And so like when I
and
have
it's not
someone
like that is the content of it. It's not a way of reading it. That is
so
the
it's
theme
why
of it.
my instinct when someone goes, "You cried at Hamilton," is to go, "You're fucking stupid,"
or
and
like,
I'll beat your ass. No, I'm just kidding.
Or you're missing like some
context.
It's okay to be, I don't know, a little naive. Like maybe you lived a life where nothing's been that kind of resonant, or it has, and you haven't kind of thought back to it in that way. Like that's okay if the worst experience of your life was your parents getting divorced.
No, and it's 20. Like I would never, because of the relativistic nature of our own like emotions and like the min and max of the way that neurotransmitters can like exist in our body and how they create physiological responses. Someone experiencing the divorce in their 20s might be like the example of them reaching that like peak of whatever like emotional
it's the most cortisol they've had,
exactly. And so it's like I actually won't shame that, but it's like why I can't get too, I don't know, when people dunk on someone for like showing emotion about something,
it's always a reflection of
it's
them.
Always a reflection.
And I will dunk on people for that, because I guess it like it showcases a lack of consideration and imagination. Yeah. To say like, well, I may, what I don't like is people framing the divorce of the parents when they were 20 as the worst thing that can happen.
Well, yeah, it's like it's about having reading the room, having some context. Hopefully, even though you have never experienced anything worse than this, you could acknowledge that other people have, but then also that it's not like a competition. It's not like I was about to say the Pain Olympics. That's a different thing.
It also is not that.
It's also not that.
And you shouldn't look it up.
Don't look it up. But it's also not a competition of trauma Olympics or whatever.
Sure,
who can have had the worst experience.
It's actually a kind of the inverse of that a little. Because like the thing I was having a little cry about was I wanted to mention this specifically because I did actually want to give them a shout out because I would have liked to have heard about this at the time. There was a care company that we started working with, like, which had been like 2 years of trying to get, a little under 2 years of trying to get my mum out of like a rotation of hospital and care facilities because she was deemed non-capable. So we were like, we will take care of it. Just me and my aunt, that's okay. And they were just like, no, we can't do that. So bureaucracy. I'm like, yeah, but none of these facilities are giving her what she wants. She's constantly escaping and like, she's too independently minded for this, but she isn't capable of living independently, blah, blah, blah. And, the deterioration wasn't there yet, but it was starting to happen. And we're like, she doesn't have a diagnosis yet. We don't know what's wrong. That goes on for like a year. And then this company based out of the Midlands, specifically in Cheltenham, but I think they do surrounding areas, called Prosperity Care. If you have any family members in a similar scenario where you're looking for like subsidized help, 24-hour care, potentially 24-hour care with counsel support, we didn't have to. I paid some money for later things we needed, but at base level we didn't have to. And they turned up out of nowhere. I just got like a phone call from them. I don't even know where it came from. Good old Colin gave me a ring, and they like saved us. When I was her full-time carer, it was with a rotation of staff that would come in 24 hours. Amazing. I spoke to Colin recently, and I'd heard that they like potentially wanted to talk about my mum in like retrospect and be like, hey, here's someone that we worked with, you know, like a case study in case people want to know, because she was a very unique case.
Right.
It was like, hey, big joy in the sky, love you, not an easy client. Certainly. I think by all accounts about as difficult as it gets.
Yeah.
Purely because of so independent. Like you cannot use the oven. Please stop putting it on.
you can't take the independence out of the person. It's like so innate to her,
which is know, it's a blessing and a curse thing. But they were great with it, and I was like, oh yeah, totally. I'll give you total permission for that. And they were like, could you write us like maybe just a little paragraph summary so we're not saying anything you don't want to say? Like, absolutely. I put it off and I start getting anxious about it. I'm like, I just don't know what to write. Blah blah blah. And I generally, I don't talk about it much because I think I'm fine with it.
Sure.
The grieving. To whatever degree you can.
Yeah.
The things that trigger, like you're talking about, is never actually the top level of it.
Yeah.
It's never, I'm not crying right now, and I'm talking about the thing that should make me cry.
Right.
I can talk about the funeral. Doesn't make me cry. What makes me cry is that, like, that first bit under the iceberg, like when we went to Hamilton, that little bit that caught me was like stagnation. It was losing time. It was like it was more maybe like even like some of the early Aaron Burr stuff was getting to me, because I'm just like, yeah, I lost those years to like, what am I doing? Like, where is this going? I'm just here. I'm just helping, but I'm not doing. I'm not moving forward. It's just getting worse. And then that caught. And then yesterday I was like writing this little paragraph in the calf, and I was completely fine. And then I got to a line about one thing that was really nice is with their support, I was able to go back home to the US, and I was allowed to get back to doing my job. And then that got me.
Right.
It was like the third ripple of thing that happened.
Yeah.
And I think that like, you don't get ready for that.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 platitudes about like, hey, you know, there's the process of guilt, the 5 stages, the blah, blah, blah. And they never talk about the 6th stage, which is kind of where it's a little after acceptance, where you'll dip in and go like, oh, the smell of the baguette at the store next to the house.
The fact that it never ends, like the stages of grief kind of, I mean, I haven't read the full text on this
it's acceptance, not cure, right?
Right, because it's just like the fact that things can still like affect you like decades away from a traumatic event.
Which is where maybe I will give credit to that my parents got divorced at 20, because it did feel bad. You know, I'm not going to cut that. And then maybe you think like, oh, I wish we could have those Thanksgivings we used to have. That's like a resonant, real, you know.
Yeah, and it's also, there's just so many things that, you know, we present as the ideal in terms of family, in terms of relationships and stuff. And so when you're constantly inundated with that stuff and then reflect it back to your own experience, and maybe you don't have that experience, or it makes you feel like it reminds you of loss or whatever that you've had in your life. Like, I totally understand like people feeling a way about it.
I just thought it was very sweet. Like right after we saw the show, you were talking about it, and I thought it was like, it's almost like to look in the wound, you have to open the stitches a little bit. Where like we've talked about it, or like the things that resonate with you and that show. But the way we talked about it right after the show happened was like a little more like, it's almost like you remembered a little. And I don't know, I thought that was very sweet. That was a very fun memory, was going to see that show.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, shout out to Art. It's like, it doesn't like, just different things will grab you in different ways, and like opening yourself to the experience allows you to have like a very beautiful response to it.
I was thinking back to when we went to see Endgame. Because we went on like one of the opening nights or something. That's a memory
I don't have. And well, I mean, like vaguely.
But it's like I don't remember like anything about the movie, and I don't remember any of that. The thing, I have one very funny.
Were we sitting really close?
We were really close.
Why do I remember where I'm sitting in the theater and nothing else?
Well, it was us, and then all of our most Tumblr-y friends in a row. We had Lauren was there, Brigid was there.
Yes.
It was like our AO3 style homies.
Yeah.
And when this one came out, 2019 something. It was before I left.
Right.
And so I remember we were all watching it, and the bit I remember so vividly is that one ad came on, and it was like the only ad without white people in it. And we were sat on either ends of our friends, and we turned and we went like, this one's for us, right? And we laughed at that. And then another one came on, and it was like a trailer for a Disney movie. And we both honestly led back and went, and this one's for them. I remember that killing me, just like the instinct funny. To both say it.
Hey.
And then,
hilarious.
I think Captain America's in the movie.
True.
That is, he's a hammer.
He's in there. He gets old.
Or something.
We see him old at the end of Endgame, I think.
Something like that.
I don't think I will.
I'm old. I'm old as shit.
All right, we went a little long. Sorry.
See ya. Wrap it up. You guys love this.
Speaking of dying in my sleep to man tape on my mouth, that makes me think of something that dangerous men do.
Sorry.
I think Haley, our researcher, found this and presented it in such a funny way. So I kind of just want to watch this Instagram reel about dangerous men and just see how it feels.
It's just like Master Chief. This guy's really look out.
Hey, dude, hold on. He's got a gun and stuff.
It's really dangerous.
I'm a dangerous man.
Dude,
are you?
He looks exactly like the AI version of Jesus from
my God.
Catholic AI.
He also looks like that that dude. Can't remember his name, but we worked with a dude who looked like this.
Oh my God.
Evan.
Dude, good pull. Fuck. That's the creatine right there.
Yeah.
That was the creatine kicking it.
Shout out to that guy. That guy ruled.
Yeah, all of the tall, fun, handsome men were really...
So many tall, handsome men.
We were the dangerous men.
We were the dangerous ones, yeah.
I'm going to stop saying that till I find out what it is.
Right.
Because like, I love killing kids. Like, oh, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thumbnail is a guy that says, my jabs will get you off of pharmaceuticals, which does give me a lot of pause. I don't want any, unless you're talking about punching me. Yeah. You're like such a good boxer, dude.
It'll get me, well, it'll kill me, so I guess I'll be off pharmaceuticals.
Terrence Crawford or whatever.
He looks tiny.
I was gonna say the tall grass looks like regular ass grass.
You find him in a Pokemon.
This is a Pokemon hiding in the tall grass. Hey,
I'm Tiny Steven.
He fights with like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee.
That's the same height as him.
I'm a dangerous man. My jabs will get you off of pharmaceuticals.
Do we know when this was posted? 17 weeks ago. Okay.
I mean, that's dangerous.
I was like, in May, this meme format was already very old. So one thing I will note about this before we continue to watch is that it's not satire because everyone in this is in the wellness space for pay.
He's dangerous is my one thing. Is this track and this is like a meme format that was going around or something?
Well, this is I'm a blank. Of course I do. Blah 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 blah. Do you remember that from 1,000 years ago?
I'm Costco guys.
Yeah, we're the Costco guys.
Yeah, we're dangerous men. Of course I murder people.
I did before we started the show listen to Ariana Grande's "Dangerous Woman." She's so talented.
It's about the Costco guys.
Yeah.
I'm a dangerous man. Yes, my kids will know how to fast and hunt before they know algebra.
Yeah.
That guy does look like someone we went to work with.
Oh, it's a different guy.
Different guy.
His face was covered by his chi blocker.
Yeah, he reveals that he's got a different face.
He was doing a substitution.
I was like, this looks like he turns into a stump. This looks like in movies where they have a different actor play.
Oh yeah,
and then like the glitch, the face swap glitched for a second.
And you see, yeah, it's like if you go slow motion on the forward roll in like a John Woo movie, you're like, that's not Chow Yun-Fat.
Also, wait, let's. So my kids will know how to fast and hunt before they know algebra. I don't know if kids should fast. I'm not a nutritionist.
Yeah.
I don't. But also, you learn algebra when you're like 12.
I mean,
that doesn't seem that crazy to me.
Also, as a kid, I've not eaten.
Yeah,
I've skipped lunch, right?
And also, I've gone fast.
Oh, dude, I'm show speed.
Gotta go fast.
Man, I bought a javelin on Craigslist to shoot down the lines in the sky.
I'm a dangerous.
The lines in the so is that a that's a chemtrails reference, like a little conspiracy theory?
What is does he literally mean a javelin?
I do think he literally means he bought a javelin on Craigslist. I'm a dangerous man. You shouldn't leave your drink alone next to me.
I'm a dangerous man. Let's go to a second location.
Yeah, seriously.
Not one of them has a shirt on, and they all have the same. These are 3 distinct men.
That's a different guy
who are carbon copies of one another.
I thought he was the first guy.
No, I don't think so.
What the hell is going on?
No,
it is a different guy.
Yeah.
This guy's like a blend of the other 2.
Yeah. Well, by the way, that was incredible. Like, did they wait till there was a plane flying over?
Or what if it's like very notably?
Or is it just a cut?
Footage?
Or is it just a cut?
That's a different guy.
Yeah. No, it was just
We're
a cut.
chemtrail guys.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's got a crazy posture.
He's dangerous.
This is wait, hold on. Go to the other. That's me trying to summon friends into my living room.
Hey.
I'm doing a little dance that hopefully gets my friends to come over.
Dangerous man.
What the?
I don't release to a screen. I pull that life force up and transmute it into creativity and longevity.
Oh, he's a nofap guy?
Hold on. I don't release into a stream. To a screen.
A stream, that's like Kia from Severance.
Sorry, yeah. I was going to say, like, share to make men dangerous again. So.
What? Oh, it's a moral judgment. I see.
Right.
These are bad things.
I don't release to a screen. I pull that life force up.
That's the semen retention thing, right? Life force up.
And transmute creativity and longevity. So it is like about semen.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's saying he doesn't jerk off to porn.
Oh.
He keeps it inside of him so that it goes back up and turns into creativity and longevity.
That's
from where to where?
From the
someone
balls.
call a doctor. If it goes back up, that's
where
like,
did it come from?
Get that checked out. This is like that girl that said she fixed her like diseases with her mind.
Oh, that's true.
Or whatever.
It is interesting that nofap can like exist amongst any demographic, but it has to be rebranded.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I'm religious and abstinent. Okay, I am a Reddit porn addict. C, I am a holistic wellness guy. But the result is always not jacking off.
I don't like how reactive any addiction like solution feels.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's always replacing one addiction with another.
Yeah.
It's like I got so addicted to porn, but now I'm addicted to carrots and thinking.
And fearing planes.
Yeah. Like I don't like that. I don't think you made it better.
Yeah.
As much as you feel that you've made it better, I mean, maybe you have. Maybe I can't paint with a broad brush.
You can certainly, like, if this is a thing that you feel brings more value to your life, then porn, good trade, right? Like, trade meme. I give you no porn, you give me carrot smoothie. But
you give me creativity.
Yeah, that's like longevity. The longevity, I guess, is the life force.
Most of what they say is counter to modern wisdom and like what doctors say.
Which I think is part of the appeal to something, because it's agency, right? It's like, I'm not doing the normal thing.
I'm a dangerous man. I co-opt old science from other cultures.
Yeah, it's not like I'm a dangerous man.
Old wisdom from other cultures.
I take iron supplements. I get B12 shots. I wake up at the same time every morning. It's always something way less.
I take naps.
It's more romantic and crazy, you know?
Remember when Drake had that ad-lib in his lyric? Or I don't even know if it's an ad-lib, but he goes, I don't take naps. It's just a random one.
I hope he's doing it right.
Yeah.
He's so sleepy.
Like such a funny thing to say.
I'm busy DMing. I don't know if, I think maybe what gets my little goat a little bit about this stuff is that what really pisses off my life force, I don't like when I feel like we end up talking about it a lot because it happens constantly, but when it comes full circle back to moral judgment.
Always.
Where it's never like sick, dude, that's great. It's like they almost land the plane. And then they go like, and you are a bad person for not doing it. Like,
it does feel like hashtag performative male because they're either shirtless or wearing flesh-colored clothes. What's that about?
True. What's up with the most ripped guy wore a t-shirt? Come on, buddy. Get to work. Be dangerous.
It's dangerous to wear cotton touching my body.
Where do they live? They don't live in the same place.
The problem is they probably live in a commune in like Thailand or something.
That makes sense. I will say, if a white guy moves to Thailand, could be a dangerous
I've got some questions, yeah.
Is that what Elon said about that like very good dude that was trying to save
the guy who saved the diver that saved kids?
Dude, chess is a solved game. No fog of war.
No fog of war is so fucking funny, dude.
No fog of war. No inventory management.
no slow rolling.
Who's Maze Yoga? Oh, there were 4 guys. Right? I cannot tell if there were 50 or one guy.
Bioculture retreats, holistic health retreats,
lifestyle.
Is that where it is?
Is that where the location is? Maybe
inside of the eye.
Oh, it's Guatemala. Okay, where show Jarvis that one because that's interesting. I think that kind of says a lot. It's a meme of a bus getting hit by a train.
Jungle Adventure Retreat in the Sacred Volcanic. Oh, shut the fuck up.
That is the train destroying the Depression bus, but I think it's important to note that Depression is in quotes.
Yeah.
As in it isn't
because
real.
it's the thing where people say depression isn't real. It's actually the demons I need to exorcise from your body or whatever.
I'm just like, what? Okay.
It's like, except for substitute. It's the crazy thing to me is there's like a Mad Lib of these strategies.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, if I'm in the wellness space, then I'm saying depression in quotes, and then my retreat saves you. If I'm in the megachurch space, I'm saying depression, and then my God will heal all.
It's
or
actually
whatever.
sin.
Or you know, you got to prosperity gospel. You got to send me like $100, and that will help save it.
Not to be like a pedant or whatever, but with the quotes around depression, then if that doesn't exist, which is the prognosis, right? Then what's the train for? Why do I need to go to this retreat if I wasn't depressed?
Wait a second. So we did just like judge a book by its cover, and we're exactly correct. Wild story. We bought this retreat venue in Guatemala.
We judged the book by its front cover, and the front cover was like this guy.
We actually did judge it by the about the author.
Yeah, that's true. We judged it by the back of the book. Oh boy.
Magic is real.
Is that a GCal screenshot?
Are volcanic islands that will blast you right open.
What does that even mean?
Life force.
And I do love that they like don't believe in anything except for the same Instagram growth hacks. And drop retreat if you want to join one of our retreats.
Yes, dude. See, that's religion.
That's what I believe in. I believe in growth hacking.
You'd have to pry us away from this magical land.
Why
That's
would
so
I do that?
Crazy, dude. Just imagine the like native Guatemalans there who are like,
I want these fucking crackers.
You guys are so annoying. Magical land. This is my fucking home, bro. It's not your magical paradise.
Walking into my corner store and then like picking up what are completely like a normal carton of milk and being like, wow, the way these people live.
You know they drink raw milk. Wait, hold on. If you want to co-host with us, you better be cool with Guatemala.
Okay. Well, fuck, that gets in my way.
Or sorry about your luck. Are they just saying, sorry, brother, you gotta be cool with Guatemala or else you're not cool with us?
I'm still confused because like, what's the thing that this is to battle if depression doesn't exist? What is this?
With healers flooding in to rent our place. Wait a second. Magic is
it's a fucking timeshare.
Yeah, it's a timeshare.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a holistic health timeshare. Thoughts create reality. Be aware of your powers because you do have them. This is like the people who are doing
the telekinesis guys
on TikTok.
What's the name? Kai Chi or something.
Oh yeah,
I like that guy.
So is this a different post? Because this one says comment host if you want the perfect space to activate / reveal those powers.
It's both. So you can either
what do you get for retreat?
Host or comment retreat.
Oh, that's so
funny.
If I
host, it's because I want the perfect space to activate / reveal my powers. But if I drop retreat, it's because I want to join one of the
retreats. This is a real Pokemon Red or Blue type of option.
Yeah.
Sophie's choice.
I don't really know the details. What are the IVs? Is that like a little magic one? That's fun.
$20 yoga classes? All right, that seems reasonable.
You'd have to pry us away is really funny because the native population is like, yeah, can you fuck? We'd like to pry you away, please. You've raised the housing tax in this area by 10,000%.
So
from $20 yoga classes to owning what?
Well, they're saying they went from $20 yoga classes to now they own one of the most beautiful retreat venues in the world.
I can do that.
Okay.
You'd have to pry me away.
It feels like they're saying, and they manifested this, basically, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't some sort of dubious business practice.
You know, this is maybe a really, really tenuous connection, and let me know if this doesn't make any sense. But I feel like, so like a while ago, we did a rebrand on the Sad Boyz aesthetic, right?
True that.
And it was like a handful of reasons. We just wanted to refresh it, try something new. We wanted assets that were only ours, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
One of the things that kept coming up when we were working on it is like, we want to, in the show and in its presentation, kind of disabuse people of the notion that when we talk about this stuff, we're doing it from a position of authority, because we're not, it's just ourselves, but B, that we're doing it with some kind of policy or prescription, right? Like, hey, if you feel like you need to cry, then you can, is way more, I think, our thought process than if you feel bad, you need to cry. Like this, I am constantly concerned that this show could be that. Does that make any sense? Like a concern that if we, like the conversation we just had, if we were like, you need to go to musicals and you need to go to a cafe and cry.
You must.
And you have to pay me.
You have to pay me so I can tell you to do it. Coaching style. Here's the calendar.
It's like, it's arrogant, I guess.
Half of these calendar events start with Maestro. Oh, because it's Maestro Valley, of course. Who's the most popular account amongst the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse?
Yeah. The Javelin Guy's War.
Yeah. The don't try this at home, maybe? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, no.
Of course.
No.
Of course.
Grab some of the herbs.
No.
The kimchi.
I don't want to eat.
Wait, let's stop. Let's stop. Let's pause. I'm done. I don't want this anymore. I am going to read the caption. Yeah, okay. He's just one of those guys.
It's such pick-me shit. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's like, oh, because that's like intuitively weird to me.
It's funny because like what? Like Liver King is in jail or something right now?
Yeah.
Is this the original guy?
This is, I think, the first one that was in the video.
Oh yeah, well he's
the fuck?
he studies Chinese medicine. Which here's the thing, I would go to a Chinese practitioner of Chinese medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than
but it's scary.
Yeah.
What if he does something Chinese to me?
And I don't know the full. Like I feel like holistic medicine has been like co-opted in the Western world by this kind of concept.
Yeah.
Whereas like the actual like basis of holistic medicine doesn't feel scammy. Like the idea being that like your body kind of works in tandem and like you want to solve root causes rather than symptoms. And that's like where Western medicine kind of gets, bent around the axle.
It's implicitly racist.
Yeah.
Because it mythologizes Asia to the extent of being like elves,
to be magic users.
This is their whole medical industry.
Like
is
China
this.
is still around today. You can't talk about it like it's Middle Earth.
Yeah, like why use the wisdom of ancient Greece if they're talking about like 2010 Greece?
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't.
What's this guy's most popular reel?
I have had like a disproportionate amount of acupuncture in my life, and it was interesting, but it didn't. I don't know.
By the way, these guys have all had big things about pooping and about complications with their poop, and I don't want to know about it.
Can't
but
poop?
I guess like I personally have a theory that has to do with their weird ass diet.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed that you feel very strange all the time? I guess you eat more raw meat.
Well, you've created a whole new swath of problems that now you can solve for them.
Have you ever noticed that you're constantly sunburned?
Yeah, you give everybody like, all right, guys, so we're going to do this new healing practice called touching the hot stove. And then you go, have your hands been burned lately?
3rd degree burn advice.
Yeah, about your hands. Like when you're touching the stove for vitality. And then I can also sell you this course on healing, on my special ointments to heal you for the burns.
Oh, they have a can't sleep video. It's going to be like, can't sleep, constantly getting food poisoning, and it's keeping you awake.
What's camp poop?
Consumerism crisis? These sell a cause. Actually. Oh, he's doing
it's
like,
one of these?
like Reiki and stuff like that. Acupuncture. That makes sense, I guess. But
okay.
Hold on. Just
that was it. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to hydrate because that can also be
yeah, quick shout out to that one.
Just a shout out to like drinking water as well.
Don't forget, dehydration, poor diet, and stress could be backing up as well.
Avoid the point on the right side, large intestine 4 if you're pregnant. What do you this seems very risky.
That was close. I guess he thankfully doesn't show that on the right hand.
I don't know. Okay. Well,
it makes the baby come out too big.
Let's move away from this. I just saw this. So here's the thing. We've had virtual influencers for a long time. And Lil Miquela, I think, has been around since like 2019. Like they've been around for a long time. They're a virtual influencer. And they're just like 3D rendered in real life. I think it's like maybe some artist or something started it. But they have started doing like brand deals, which the craziest one, I'm going to read this from the New York Times article. And then Jacob actually, in that article is the is the actual social media post. And this is from 2025, September 4th, so 2 weeks ago. When Representative Nancy Pelosi of California, the former Speaker of the House, attended Outside Lands Music Festival last month in her home district of San Francisco. I feel like Nancy Pelosi just wants to go to these things.
I know.
And just like anyway, it doesn't matter. I remember Nancy Pelosi walked into when I worked at Yelp, Nancy Pelosi like came through one time. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Hello, Jarvis.
Give me stock pics, bro. She took a selfie with a popular influencer who has 2.4 million followers. And then this is the most depraved fucking dead internet shit I've ever seen. Me vibing to @Gracie Abrams, and I look up and it's literally Speaker Pelosi. Like, shout out to Outside Lands for this iconic link up, LOL. So, dude, the iconic link up of the fake influencer and the former Speaker of the House / biggest profiteer of insider trading, allegedly.
Of the wolf
actually,
of
no,
Wall
let me
Street.
back up. Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's what it is. It's the Wolf of Wall Street.
I don't... Wait, what am I looking at? Like, where does it begin and end? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, so on the left, you got Lil Miquela.
Cool. Big fan.
And on the right, you have Nancy Pelosi. In the middle, I don't know who that is.
Wait, so... wait, I don't understand. Is she... I don't understand.
Okay, we can go to Lil
Miquela?
Miquela. So Lil Miquela is a virtual influencer.
But like the gorillas are virtual, like
Yes,
the older version
she's
of that.
the gorillas.
But Noodle doesn't have like a photo with Nancy Pelosi. How does this work? How do they do that?
So they took a photo of Nancy Pelosi, and then they
just age.
and then they just then they just rendered her in. They probably had maybe they had a stand-in. Yeah. So Lil Miquela's been around for a long time.
Does Pelosi know?
I think this was like a full-on brand deal. You can tell that she's like old school because if she was made today, she would look way better.
And it says robot like in the bio.
Yeah. But she's one of the OGs of the virtual influencer space.
But is that Jojo Siwa?
Oh yeah, is that a video?
Lucio du Siwa?
Are they talking? Let's see. Hey everyone, look who's here.
I saw your update and I couldn't stop thinking about you, so I ordered this.
No way. You signed up for the registry?
I did. I know that 75% of patients have to look outside their families for a donor, and I just want to help.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Shall we?
Wait.
Each cheek, right side first.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with wrong with this. I've done this.
I'm just curious. Is the person filming Lil Miquela?
I do feel like they're gonna pan over to Lil Miquela or Lil Miquela's voice in the background. Let's find out.
It's like comped in really weird. It's like wobbling.
Yeah, I don't know what's about to happen.
Let's flood the registry with hope. Link in our bios. It's free, fast, and
okay. So cut and whoa.
Yeah, like clearly her body is not connected to that head. Yeah,
that's a challenging image. That's some UE5 bullshit right there.
That's the thing. It's like I do feel like Lil Miquela is going to be left behind. She doesn't have the sauce like the new virtual influencers of today. Not like Tata, Timbaland's new musician. I just made a gold video about.
She's like that. She's like the first generation of replicants in Blade Runner that are capable of like running away and rebelling.
Yeah. She's like Android 16.
Damn it.
Yeah.
They need to adjust. Jojo Siwa is 21.
You know what's funny is Lil Miquela sounds more like an influencer name than Jojo Siwa. And Jojo Siwa sounds more like an influencer, like a fake influencer name.
Yeah, zeros instead of O's.
They could swap names and things would make a little more sense in this world.
I know people are complaining about Jojo Siwa's new voice or whatever. I think it's funny because she sounds like Austin Butler after all this.
I've been watching videos of him talking, and it's like
pulled back.
Sounds exhausting.
It's a very
Wow, really? Wow, yeah, I really do really enjoy that. Yeah,
I do. As somebody who struggles, I'm self-conscious about the way my voice changes, doesn't, whatever. I do want to give him some runway because you can just feel more authentic sounding differently. You know, you don't need like a BA in talking for whatever your accent is.
I think he just sounds cool.
But it is like...
I just don't want to believe that someone can be that cool.
Pretty badass,
yeah,
actually.
He does. Because I don't think he sounds like Elvis anymore. I just think he sounds really cool.
Yeah, he's just leveled out. But it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. All right, last but not least, let's talk about woman propaganda, which is a guy
Okay. I'm keying in. I'm sorry, the pieces
it's a
tiny up, put 'em in.
guy. I found a guy. This is a dude who, I want to get your vibe on him first, and then I'll tell you some facts. Debunking the internet's most viral feminist propaganda. And then angry patriot media. This all feels like if I were building a parody account, the things I would say.
His profile picture just has a little Trump in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's protecting him. This is like what we would call an account. Yeah, the joke account we would make, or like the propagated thinker.
That's kind of the thing that I am thinking. Yeah. All right, let's play the game. Is it? Are you for real?
Yeah. Psych or no psych?
Yeah.
This and a godly woman. This nigga.
Okay. What? Okay. 10,000 guesses, and I wouldn't have even gotten close.
Okay.
Well, unless.
Where does it go from here?
Was that the entire thing?
I think that one might have been it.
Wow.
Was he saying again, Jacob?
Godly woman. This nigga.
He looks so unnatural saying it.
It's like teeth close.
I was like watching his neck.
This nigga.
This nigga. He's
a single sweat bead.
Interesting. It's like that's one of those peek behind the curtain where you can't even. It doesn't matter how many layers deep into satire you are.
You are just doing it.
Yeah, you're just doing it. And so yeah, this guy works for this guy's a groiper.
This guy's groiped up. It's a martial art these days.
And I think that this is like an example of how kind of insidious this stuff is, because I wish we hadn't started with that one, but because I had not seen it. I hadn't seen it.
No, yeah.
But the other ones I've seen, they present almost as satire, and it's like an example of how people are lured in to something that they feel like is a joke, but then actually isn't, because they're funded by big, like Gavin McInnes's company.
And incentivized by platforms that are full of a lot of the worst people ever, right? Like it's not the reason that this does well is like partially ironic shares. I would absolutely send that to Austin.
Oh yeah,
I would absolutely trick Austin into watching that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would do it with like some.
And I accidentally tricked both of us into watching.
Yeah, that's true. You did own me.
I did next? Get pwned. You should have seen your face, dude. All right, let's see the next one. By the way, the way to tell if someone is like corporate posting is the way they do reactions so unnaturally. Like,
oh, with so much setup.
Yeah, this looks like when he puts it in the little corner, it just feels like it was paid for by a media company.
Is he looking at it?
On a laptop, you would think.
I hope so, unless it's just he's supposed to be. I guess there's a corner of a Lenovo. He's got his Alienware out,
or an iPad off the camera, or out of frame. Yeah, your wife is your partner.
Ew. Sorry.
Your wife is your partner, not your mom. Your wife is your partner, not your mom.
Okay, pause. So the clip he's reacting to doth protest too much. It's a little bit too much pick me boyfriend energy for me.
But it's but
someone needs to hear that. The sentiment isn't wrong.
The sincerity of it in something like this kind of doesn't matter, because the sentiment is like relatively harmless and sometimes productive. Kind of like the inverse of if he's a joke, right? Because it's like, dude, what if I hated women?
That's crazy.
Dude, what if I did do that? Can you believe it? I kind of a little bit. I do kind of hate him a little bit, but I'm like kidding, but I'm not. Whereas I don't know. Also, this stuff is like pick me for us a little because it's kind of overplayed.
It's overplayed.
But for most people, it isn't. For most people, that is like
a novel concept.
It is also a huge issue. Like
it is just a big issue.
People like marrying people because they need parenting.
Right.
They need a mom to help them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
imagine getting yourself into that situation,
dude.
Where it's like, if only I knew how to do this laundry, but now I have all these kids.
Fuck. Now I have to do laundry for children. This sucks.
She is not a living maid or a hired cleaning crew, so she shouldn't have to pick up after you.
This is a cucking ritual.
That's very good.
Dude, this is how they get you.
Oh my god, dude.
They're just not fucking real, bro.
Was it the whole thing?
That would be wild. He just goes, this nigga.
This cuck.
I don't know if this guy realizes what he's doing, but this is, you go to hell for doing this.
Huh?
Wait.
I don't, okay.
Like,
huh?
What do you mean?
And that's, and he doesn't even expound upon that.
Is there like a extended format version of this? Like, is this from?
I don't think so.
Does he have like a 1 minute react channel? And
I feel like this is like those TikTok. Oh, it could be. Yeah.
Watch my YouTube video, singular.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we cracked the code then.
Yeah.
This is not irony.
Yeah, it's not irony. All right. Well.
Dude.
If it isn't exactly what I expected.
Yeah, if it isn't the AI generated version of these opinions.
This is how I found out about this guy.
Totally against watching sports. Football, you're watching grown men play a child's game, and you're cheering like the outcome of this game means anything. It's really pathetic. I say that watching sports is worse than watching anime.
So this is, I think, just a great example of how these type of people gain an audience off of like contrarian seeming like satire. It's like, it's masking. And I think it's insidious the way that, because this obviously doesn't read serious. You couldn't seriously believe this. This is like the most,
or at the very least, like
transparent bait.
You can if like the world you occupy is high school core and you're just signaling things you know you should or shouldn't think.
Exactly.
And that's the communication.
The signaling is grown men.
You're
right? Like if you want to be a grown man as a 14-year-old boy and someone's like, oh, grown men don't watch. I knew that I didn't fit into society in this way.
How is it considered like I think inarguably the thing that maybe everyone pretty consistently would say is manly is like self-assured, right? It's like confident. I think it's probably the most universal default masculine term, right? This shit is so insecure to be doing like this is just like a rebranded, rephrased version of Les Sports Ball.
No, it is. It's also so
insecure.
False. Like, I just want it to be clear how easy it is for these people to present things that they don't actually believe.
Oh, yeah.
Because the same type of people who hype up this golden era of masculinity or something, it's like gladiators were sport. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff has basis in like the times that you glorify, and the most powerful people of those times that you glorify, the kings and rulers of such, valued sport.
If like the most trad ways of showcasing masculinity are something you do value, but then you're saying like, well, yeah, but football is bad. You're just doing a little dance for your audience then, because they don't do that. That's the thing they don't like.
And that's the thing.
Actually, animes means your penis is huge, I heard, from computers.
Given the current political climate, it's...
Wait, let me look that up.
Yeah. It's an important time to acknowledge how much posturing and lying there is online.
Yeah.
And pretending.
And it's not... If someone sees you doing this and any part of them goes like, oh, I guess this is real, oh, that's stupid, your response can't be like, oh, you thought that was completely sincere? You've just been owned.
Right.
Like, no, you shit your pants in public. That's
you thought it was sincere when I said the N-word for real?
I see that you've been played. Actually. Yeah, it stinks. I shit my pants. Can't handle the smell. I'm like, I'm going to leave. You stinks here.
Well, actually, shitting your pants is the most manly thing you can do, because what type of girly bullshit is sitting on a toilet, bro?
I'm going to sit down.
Like a girl?
Stand up, run through the streets, not sport, run through the streets shitting, okay?
Right, like a man.
What are you going to do,
shit yourself like your fathers and forefathers before you.
5'1", by the way.
Yeah, 6'9", actually.
Oh, bro.
6'7".
Dude, look at sports. Sports are for NPCs, one of the top comments.
Right.
I'm not a sports guy. Like, I'm getting curious now. I like want to maybe have an interest, but it's because at one point in my life, I was an embarrassing, cringe, Les Sports Ball. You're just people wearing different jerseys. I hope both teams have fun. I just watch for the Super Bowl
It's like the
ads.
same people engage in the fucking console wars.
It's
You know what I
insane.
mean? Like, it's like you just did sports. You just made sports again.
Being a grown-up, and granted,
The most
grown-ups
cucked
don't
thing.
do
I'm
it.
sorry. The most cucked thing in the world was the console wars.
Oh, dude.
No,
Being
no.
cucked by
by big
Balmer?
by big capitalism, dude.
Dude,
That's
Reggie
the craziest.
Fils-Aimé making you a cuck?
That's the craziest thing, is like directly tying your self-worth to the amount of market capitalization you can build for like one of these like gargantuan megacorps.
That not only don't know who you are, could not care less if you died. It
Right.
means nothing to them.
And that's the thing. It's like,
fuck, the NFL can't handle this.
But I have an issue with engaging intellectually with this, because it's not meant to be. Like, this is the type of contrarianism that, like, to even engage with it intellectually is kind of the bait a bit.
But that's what
I think that we're
yeah.
like painting with a broad brush to say we're kind of illustrating to an audience that like we're engaging with this as a teaching moment.
Yeah, and
That-
it's
that,
not
like,
your bait isn't valid.
Right.
That's the thing.
Just because it's bait doesn't make it valid.
It's the shitting yourself in public. Look, I wrote the N-word in my own turds. I'm like, okay, but
Yeah.
you have to like shit outside.
Actually,
That's
I
weird.
just TP'd your house, so joke's on you.
It's like, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing that you need to. There is nothing, in my opinion, more shameful than fear. I don't want to say fear is never valid, but insecure fear as a result of like something you can't explain. Just being too insecure about what you want to say or how you want to say it, or being approved of people, and then contorting yourself and the way you say something so that you be approved is incredibly embarrassing. And to then frame it as, yeah, well, you thought I was being serious? Like, okay, so be serious. What is the thing you actually think, and why aren't you saying it?
Yeah.
It's because you either don't believe anything or you're too scared to say it sincerely.
Yeah. And
badass, dude. Very manly.
It's like a lightning rod and a honeypot for the type of antisocial behavior that can be harmful if festered.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, even if you don't like sports, you can acknowledge is that there's a community around sports and people can bond over sports.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start to alienate, like if you say watching TV, playing video games, doing sports, whatever, all of those things are actually gay and you shouldn't do them. And by the way, gay means bad in this context, right? Then and not masculine, not whatever, then it kind of feels like what cults do, where they take away all of your loved ones and people, they kind of poison those relationships, where except for this is a more institutional way of doing that, where actually no interest of yours that could build community is valid. The only way is to find a community of people who we've engineered to be antisocial with our with our seemingly countercultural or seemingly contrarian like viewpoints.
Yeah, it's like people who like trying to make some kind of moral position about like, I'm actually more of a chunky peanut butter kind of guy. Like,
yeah.
Hey, I think at this point most people can fuck with chunky peanut butter. It is not like confrontational anymore. Most adults can handle pulp in their orange juice,
pineapple on their pizza.
This is a proxy war for people who feel frustrated with life, but don't have any opinions or life experience.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a proxy. It's exactly what you said. Sorry, I don't have any commentary. It's just exactly what you said. And also it's exactly what you said.
You've been owned by the master of logic.
I feel like a great place to end is just don't be afraid of community. Don't be afraid of feeling feelings about things. Don't be afraid of like enjoying something that people don't enjoy and connecting with people who enjoy those things. There's nothing like bad about community. There's, I guess, like some communities aren't the best. But
There's something bad with doing bad things.
Yeah.
But like being a Cubs fan and then blowing up a hospital, the bad part was blowing up the hospital.
Right. Try to acknowledge when people are just be more vigilant to disingenuity on, whoa, is that the way to say that word? Yeah, disingenuousness, disingenuity. I think I may have done a conjugation.
Disingenuous mode?
Yeah.
Going sicko mode?
Like, just be aware of, like, people who are, like, disingenuous for pay online.
Yeah, dude.
Like, because that is a peddle. That is a snake oil.
And if you think, like, you know, I'm sure there's people who are like, yeah, the Sad Boyz is just pick me stuff. They're just, you know, they're doing it for their own kind of attention. Okay, if you want. I don't know what demographic that serves. I don't know
it's
what
also
we're
like
getting.
The thing is like if you act in accordance with your morals and beliefs, you will not find as many dramatic turns and dramatic deviations from that without an explanation.
Really, all this shit is just like, this specifically is, it's signaling to people who resent a version of jock they've come up with in their brain.
Right.
It's not people they hang out with. They don't hang out
with.
But
it's also like create the enemy.
Yeah.
And then rally around the enemy.
Straw man or whatever.
Exactly. And now you have kind of brought people or endeared them to your cause, but you're endearing them to your cause for a nefarious purpose because you're pointing that towards a hateful place.
They don't believe
and we know from like this person's content that they're doing that. And I just think it's like weak baby shit.
Yeah. Boo boo. Go have your milk.
And I gotta fucking watch sports after this.
Bro, I've got to do a dunk.
Bro, I gotta do a dunk and I've gotta fucking I gotta smooch a hunk.
I gotta put
girl style.
Yeah, I'm about to go girl style.
I'm about to smooch a girl hunk.
All right. Well, we'll see if we survive to the next episode because we are going to be putting tape over our mouth and nose when we go to sleep.
Look out for I don't even think I'll make a headline. It'll be like Jarvis died, obviously.
Good news.
Doing something dumb as hell.
Dex Soto post.
Yeah.
Someone called Jameis or something.
Yeah, Jameis Johnson.
Jamie Jansen dies hilariously.
Jansen died in a very funky little cuckoo bananas way.
Jordan Adika does first funny thing. Dies.
Right. Finally. Yeah, that's the Onion.
Yeah, finally. Much love, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
We end every episode of Sad Boyz with a particular phrase.
Love you.
And we're sorry. It turns out that this engineer, Suchir Balaji, he was a whistleblower who helped train the artificial intelligence systems behind ChatGPT, later said he believed those practices violated copyright law, wrote this piece about how generative AI like LLMs and stuff can't be fair use, and he was found dead in his room.
What?
So, of all people, Tucker Carlson interviewed Sam Altman. And
Clash of the Titans,
the intellectual titans. And apparently it gets really weird. I saw like people referring to this and I was like, I want to watch this, but it's more of a Nightz thing. Yes. It felt just because of the nature of it, but I'm genuinely curious.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, or you want it?
Girl, too rich for me.